Okay, so I don't know how to get this chart on here, so we're going to just lay right here and do it. I put this picture in the assignment so you can copy it down, or you can always refer to it because you're going to need the next two pages as reference in your notebooks to help you answer some of those questions. First of all, I just want to talk about, I'm going to use a pen to point, the quadrilateral. So quadrilateral, all that means is a polygon, which just means shape, that a quadrilateral has 4 sides and 4 angles. So what you're going to learn is a lot of these shapes have more than one name and can be grouped different ways. So I put over here some examples. All of these are quadrilaterals, but they also have a different name. We have a trapezoid, we have a parallelogram, we have a rhombus, we have a rectangle, and we have a square. Now these are not the only ones, these are just some examples. But they're not only squares, they're also called quadrilaterals. So we're going to get used to grouping our shapes in more than one way. Now there's some things that I want to show you because they're new. Now this one right here, you know, that means it's a right angle. It's 90 degrees. It makes a perfect L. So with the rectangle, you see that in order to be a rectangle, it has to have 4 right angles. Now the new lines that we haven't really talked about too much are these lines. So these lines, a little straight marks, it can be 1 or 2, means those 2 lines are the same length. So these 2 lines are the same length, but then these 2 lines are different lengths, but they're still the same. So that means these 2 are 1 and these 2 are 1, and we show it by saying 2 and 2, 1 and 1. So those are matching. So if you look at the parallelogram, it looks just like that one. These 2 sides match and these 2 sides match. A rhombus, they all have to match. And in a square, they all have to match. In a rectangle, those 2 have to match and those 2 have to match. Now, do you notice in the trapezoid, there's no marks? And that means because none of the lines are the same length. They're not the same length. Now, the other thing is when we're naming our quadrilateral, the important thing to remember is it has to go in order. You can go A, B, C, D. You can go B, C, D, A. You can go C, D, A, B. But you cannot go A, C, D, B because those lines don't touch. So it has to be the lines that touch. They have to go in order, like a map. You can't just jump over. So when you're naming a quadrilateral, you have to make sure that it's from point to point to point to point. You can't jump all over the place with that one. So when you have a minute, I want you to put this in your notebook, and then I'm going to get ready and we're going to make a chart of all of these to show like what needs to be there for it to be called that shape. Now remember, all of them are quadrilaterals because they all have 4 sides and they all have 4 angles. So all of these right away we can say are quadrilaterals because they have 4 sides and 4 angles. Now we're going to look a little bit deeper into each of these to see how they differ, and then part of your practice in your work on Think Central is to sort them and say how many names can I find for this shape. All right, so we'll get ready. So the next video is going to be our chart and filling out our chart. See you soon.